Hi everyone, delonewolf here. Welcome back to some EVE Online. Welcome back also to CC, the test server for EVE Online. I'm sure that that's pretty logical since I'm flying a Marshal. There's a lot of other people around here, including a Titan, and so it's a must this time. This one will be aimed at a new type of bubble that CCP is going to try on the graphics department. We should also look at the client performance and somewhat importantly, there's also a bug when the capacitor wouldn't update after certain actions. That is normally fixed, so we'll have to keep an eye on the capacitor as well to see if it does still pop up or if there's a high chance that they did fix it. If we notice anything, we definitely have to make a ticket for that. But just look at this baby. Oh, we have to jump already. All right, let's press jump and look at it after that. It's the Marshal. It's so big. It's a really large battleship, even bigger than a Macarel. It's practically as large as a carrier, which is pretty damn cool. So here we go. We jumped through without any problem. There's not that many people on this mass test, like 120 people, something like that. So at the moment, I would say it's not going to be very busy and all too trying for the performance, but we'll see how things get along. And don't ask me about the fit here. I just grabbed a really silly fit with the shield tank, lots of damage on missiles. That's pretty much all I did here, just to take a look at the damn Marshal. But it looks so good. Look at that. Look at that. Just looks crazy good. And on top of that, let's maybe look for something like a carrier. That's the Nyx. That's gonna be a little bit bigger. But here we got an Archon. Oh, and Dictors drop bubbles. So here are the new bubble effects for you. Like a red shine when you first deploy them. And then you've got definitely a much more toned down visual, which I personally like, right? When you had this many bubbles before, it became like really bright white and stuff would still be visible. But they would basically become black specks against a very bright, shining white light. And so here, I like this very nice hue. And so the newer deployments, they look a little bit red, and those that have been there for a while look blue. Maybe they'll decay to like green or something like that. I think all Dictors were asked to do one cycle. And in the meantime, we're going to approach that Archon and see if we can get a comparison. So, whoa, look at, yeah, it's really nice, like a burning intense effect at the beginning, and then that fades away and becomes a blue clear bubble, except for this one. So there's also gonna be a difference between the types of bubbles there as well. But absolutely love that this is no longer this massive white patch that you have when there's a lot of bubbles going on. So now people are stopping their bubbles. Looks really good. And performance wise here, 60 FPS without any problem. And if I go in here, you do take a little bit of a dive, but you can still stay at like 60 FPS. Of course, as I've said, only around 100 people that are... I probably can't do that. Oh, I can. Okay. Not that many people in local. That should definitely help with the performance, of course. The Marshal has no drones, but I think it again has bonuses to all weapon types other than drones, which is really cool. So let's get in close on that Archon here. Look at that. We're practically as big as that Archon. Warp to planet 1 as soon as the bubbles are down. So we're going to quickly go like that. Planet 1, align 2 for now. Look at that. I'm almost as large as the Archon. I'm just a little shorter, but next to that, we are practically as large. Really cool. Planet 1, let's do a warp within 20, see where we end up. And 41 kilometer range. And off we go. Here's the Marshal in warp. Somehow I got a bounty payment. Really wasn't paying all that much attention, so I'm not sure exactly what's happening. Let's do a little bit of boosting here as well while we're in warp and keep an eye on the capacitor. But that does seem to be updating quite okay. Let's keep boosting this one. Yeah, there you go. The cycle showing up correctly. So, off to planet 1 we are. People are landing on the bubbles. There's the fleet. Lots of small ships this time. And then there's a Titan coming in as well. We probably will want to get out of that a little bit. So this is going to be an overview problem. I think I'm going to assume that these are like anchored bubbles. Here again, performance really very nice. You've got the tiny bubbles here, then medium, and then you've got some large bubbles there. No problems with the performance. And the Higgs are going to cycle a bubble here as well, showing the difference, I guess, between anchored bubbles and the Higgs bubbles. And is stuff blowing? Oh, alright. Let's see if we can... So they have a little effect on the ships themselves as well. Maybe I should have kept a closer eye on that. Can we see which one it is? Not all that well. So we do have a broadsword here. Stop the bubbles. So yeah, unfortunately, they're not going to fire any more of them. But that's what a larger number of bubbles is going to look like now. Align to Poitot, burn out of the bubbles. So Stargate, Poitot, align to. Let's activate this. Looks like we're okay. Oh, then we probably don't want to speed into the bubbles either. I much prefer this. I've said this when they changed the bubble graphics for the first time. I said it looked very intense, especially when you have these even bigger brawls than you get on CC. Then it is going to look very intense. And this is a bit more toned down, but I feel like it looks really good. And I love the red deployment color. And then depending on the type of bubble, you also have different types of colors in them. And the longer they stay, there's a bit of decay in there. Looks pretty cool. Some people are shooting down some bubbles as well, which I don't have on the overview. So there are some anchored ones. And then we still have a Higgs going here as well. There he is again. Damn, if I could grab him, maybe it could be worth it to show all brackets. So it's this one that maybe still has like a cycle running. So let's see. So you can, yeah, you can see a bit of an effect around the ship while the bubble is active as well, which is nice, of course. If you're and want, feel free to warp to planet 2 and then check the bubble of the ESS. All others warp to the Poitot gate. Alright. Stargate, Poitot, warp within 0. No, he disabled it, so we're not gonna see the launching effect there. Or do you think that I'm fast enough? Well, it's a battleship, so it's not a super fast ship, but there are some people still stuck in the bubbles up there as well. So let's see if we land there and there's still time. Well, we're gonna land in it again. So yeah, let's just stick with the battle plan here. We are warping pretty slowly. And indeed, the Marshal looks really good. Oh, and yeah, maybe we can actually see like a bubble from... He just deployed. I want to look at him. So that's the effect while the Dictor... Damn it, missing it again. A broadsword from test. He's gonna fire that off, right? Nope, he just has his shields. Come on, use the bubble. Ah, damn, and now they explicitly ask us not to use bubbles. Ah, there it was. There it was. So here we go. And that is the effect. And if you look around, multiple bubbles. While still keeping everything nice and visible in my opinion. Even when there's multiple and even lots of them, there goes another one that are active. So I would say nice improvement. I am liking this change quite a lot. And then let's see if we get the order to go through the gate. Set up the gate camp. Some more people in proximity of the surveillance system. Ah, there's an interdiction probe here. Can I see it? Maybe. It's right next to me. What? Closer? Do you actually see the probe visibly? No, it's just that it's on the overview. And it's maybe so tiny that you don't see anything. Okay. Let's see, just a couple more bubbles to drop. Fleet W, jump. I was going to say let's do that before we get zapped out of it. Well, let's burn back to the gate, I guess. You're not supposed to do that during a mass test, but let's say that it was a nice pull away with the fleet. So basically I think it's like a command destroyer that just grabbed everyone within a certain radius of him and just jumped them out like 100 kilometers in a set direction. Luckily we can get out of that. And now we have to burn some 60 kilometers. Let's press jump. So a bit more of a mess thanks to that player. But well, there's not that many of them stuck here. Besides there's a mobile warp disruptor that's now offline as well. So that's okay. And so those are probably the blue bubbles, the mobile warp disruption bubbles, and then the dictator bubbles themselves from the ships. Those look red and very red when they're first deployed. So just a bit more now. We need that patience. Gives us another chance to take a close look at the Marshal. From Concord. Interrupting a mass test can lead to consequences like being unable to log in for a singularity or just a ship explosion for minor offenses. That's true. Keep in mind the devs have all the powers. This is their realm. So we made it. Let's get out there. Let's grab an orbit. And because I didn't fit a point or anything like that. Oof. And that, yeah, the deployment effect is quite intense. Let's just orbit at current. Go like this. See if anyone... Oh, those Lancers. We could try to attack it. But... let's assume that we want to get the PvP going and not disrupt that too much either. Yeah, performance, look at that. So many bubbles being deployed, so many effects, boosts as well. And it's still holding quite nicely at 60 FPS. Can we spot any of these interdiction probe? Yeah, you can't actually give a look at a command on those. But you do have a mobile Warp disruptor, that's active. Fleet X is going to jump in as well. So here we already have a capsule. Paradox in the Marshal, we're going to leave that for a bit. We also have a Phobos and a Devoter. That's already down. So let's grab some more targets. Yeah, let's just grab anything then. Let's see here. The Onyx. What kind of damage can we do against that? So there go my missiles. Rapid heavy missile launchers, and yep, some shield damage right there. On the Onyx. Ah, he's getting reps, or he is active repped. Have shields. Keep firing. Oh, should I do approach? Maybe I should try to approach him. Onyx is running out of shields though, as he's trying to burn away. Needs to evade the carrier, but I'm still hitting him from down below. He's in armor. Is he going to get away? Is he going to get away? More missiles come after him. This is pretty cool. So all those missiles are coming from me. He's got some buffer tank. Alright, and in the meantime, I am just completely wrecked by a couple of volleys, probably from like a capital ship, and blown away as well. Straight into the clone. Didn't get the clone effect. What? Now I'm in the Tal. How the hell did that happen? Okay, that's really weird. Let's see if I can quickly get back in here, there in the stealth bomber then. Let's go to FD. Wait 1 second. Alright, let's go now. Okay, very weird. Maybe it's a setting on the test server, but I lost my ship and I was instantly transported back to my home station. That's basically what happened there. Alright, let's get back in there and maybe take a bit of a closer look to the fight itself. So we want to get into XBV. Here there's 18 people, including a fleet member as well. Mass testing. Very weird one, gotta say. And can I see what did this? Maybe it's even a character. Then we've got nope, interactions is what we need. Oh, now we need to, god damn it, bubbles everywhere, of course, since we're testing 4 bubbles. And show losses. Lost the Marshal 2. Ah, there we go. That explains it, of course. It's a doomsday from the Titan that basically one-shot me and sent me home, and even did so effectively that he just burst right through the animation that you normally get when you're potted, and sent me directly back to my home station, all the way back in Dital, I think it was. Okay, pretty cool. Pretty unusual one. I didn't even see it, of course. I was completely focused on my target. But let's see if we can get back in there and maybe take a look at performance next. Let's go. And let's hope that there's not too much stuff left on the Poitot gate, which is of course Poitot, there we go. Which is the reason why they're asking you not to put up those bubbles here in XPV, because there are people that will try to rejoin the fight, keep the servers up and running. They want as much data as possible, and if you disrupt that with extra bubbles, as you saw right here, it costs us more time and thus it's not so good for the testing purpose itself. Let's get back in here and then let's take a look at what's happening. Local FPS, is there any tie-dye? I don't think so. Local is still at 120. FPS is dropping to like 40. This is what it looks like when we're zoomed out. Okay, 120. 60 FPS still, that's not that bad. And then zoomed in. Still doing okay, so it took, well, this is, yeah, 50, still holding. All right, surprising, not so bad. History. Needs armor. Needs shields. Any targets? No. All right, then we've got CCP Paradox in the Marshal. He's now whipped, scrammed. Oh, no, that's actually on the Devoter. All right, let's target him a bit and approach him as well. Ooh, that's a good hit. Firing again if I can. Oh, he's gonna fire back. All right. Keep firing. Speed up as well. Orbit at 5,000. And just try to evade the enemy fire. Ah, now I'm also being ECM'd, jammed, webified, everything. And he's getting reps too. So I won't survive for very long, but as we've got another Doomsday firing there, that's the fight that's happening here, and really good performance. So I would say 2 thumbs up for the bubbles here so far. I managed to do a little bit more damage, but was taken down without too much trouble. Let's approach the Stargates. And maybe put us in tactical, so that we can try and look, for instance, at a Saber. Can we look at him? No tie-dye, just doing alright. Getting hit and firing at the same time. I personally think that the sub-caps will always look the coolest. Here's a Vulture that doesn't seem to be doing too much. What's the Devoter doing? Don't send me home, guys. He's exploding quite nicely. Okay, cool. I am being sent home, so that's okay though. Fighting with, is it a Catalyst or is it... Too late, we won't find out. Here is my clone for the second time. It's gonna be it for this mass test, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all next time.